Chicago, we are ready for the 2025-2026 NHL season. And indeed, this could be a big season for the Blackhawks. To kick off this episode right out of the gates, I'm going to look through the AI lines. If you do not care, of course, you know the deal by now. Jump to the time on your screen. But for those of you who do, much like myself, enjoy, look at that defense. Jesus. For those of you who do enjoy looking at what the AI teams happen to be at this stage, well then, hey, buckle up because here we go. Look out for the Anaheim Ducks. Although we said that last year and a bunch of teams sucked. The Arizona Coyotes, I mean, that's kind of the dream top line for them moving forward. I mean, I guess you could factor in Connor Bedard if you really wanted to. Josh Doan is there as well. Got JJ Moser, Yusuf Valimaki, Maverick Lamoureux. Yeah, they've kind of turned the corner. And of course, they still have Connor Hellebuck, who they had picked up previously. I'm not going to check contracts because, let's be honest, we're far enough into this bad boy that, yeah, there's just going to be some pretty wild and ridiculous contracts. Mason Lohrei has made it with the Boston Bruins. AHL leading scorer, Georgi Merkelov, IRL at least. That guy does look like he might be able to be something for the Bruins. The Sabres are still just gross, and they added Pavel Buchnevich. Look at that left-hand side. My God. Oh, my God. All right. Well, Buffalo is cooking up some cap issues in the near future. That is my prediction. Oh, my God. They still got a year left of Jeff Skinner, and he's a scratch. Carolina, Aiden McMuffin, very happy. At least he must be very happy I did not acquire Sebastian Aho. As per usual, well, there we go. There's a good example of the AI being rather dumb. Plenty of great forwards, but yeah, let's have a 68 overall backup. Yegor Chinnikov, good Lord. 90 overall. Cole Sillinger didn't really develop this time out. He is 22, but that's a little bit surprising. Yarosek certainly developed. So did Kuhlman's. Goodness. Askarov went to Columbus. Okay. Congratulations, Blue Jackets fans, if that's in your future. Good Lord. Calgary Flames. Of course, we've seen them try to tear it down, but they do have a decent little young mix up there with Kadri and Jonathan Huberdeau. It's not that bad. Sean Barron's on defense, and defense leaves a bit to be desired. Georgiev and Dustin Wolf, who should probably be the Flames IRL starter right now. Nice, healthy, medium elite scratch for Alexander Zetterberg. GG's when Braden Shen and Adam Henrique can both play on the wing. Say it with me. The AI in this game sucks. Oh, but it's like Daryl Sutter's simulator in Calgary. He doesn't care about his prospect. No. No, we're not playing that game to defend terrible AI by saying, well, in real life, some coaches are dumb enough to scratch their good players and prospects. I don't care. This is a video game. I want the AI to be challenging to play against. I do not want them to be whatever they are, because let's be honest, the challenge isn't that the AI GMs are so good at building their teams. The challenge is not losing your sanity at how bad these teams can be in terms of properly setting themselves up, and knowing that even if they are good at setting themselves up, like we saw last season, they can be absolutely dreadful for no reason. But that happens in real life too. I don't care. It's a video game. Good teams should be good. Bad teams should be bad. And then once you get to the playoffs, all your silly nonsense can happen. All right? Yeah. That's right. I said it. Mark Giordano, Edmonton Oiler. Fair enough. Florida. Looking pretty good. Well, I don't know. Are they looking good compared to what some of these other teams look like? Maybe, maybe not. Spencer Knight's their guy, though. Spencer Knight is their guy. The Los Angeles Kings are just pretty well stacked, aren't they? Brant Clark, now the leader of that defense. Eric Portillo, their goaltender. And if it's not Portillo, oh, my sweet, sweet summer child. Oh, EA. Oh, EA. Why? Why have you forsaken me when Velarde and Byfield can both play on the wing and you could just scratch Trevor Moore? Why wouldn't they pair a forward with who's there? I mean, just oof. Especially when he can go back to junior. Oof. Minnesota legend Patrick Kane. Defense looking pretty good for the Wild at this stage. Wallstead and Gustafsson. Got Nick Backstrom as a scratch. Montreal. Oh my God. Every time we see them, start of every season, Jesus. Oh boy. That is one hell of a team. Let's see if they're randomly bad again. The New Jersey Devils are also pretty gross in terms of that top six. Jack Hughes also 95 overall. That defense is gross. Goaltending leaves just a little bit to be desired. Just a little bit. A teeny tiny bit. Nashville. Hey, they're finally playing Juuso Parssinen. Good for them. Finally. Jesus. Took you long enough. Absolutely took you long enough. And they certainly kept UC Saros. That's a steal of a contract. Jesus. Poor Matt Duchene. Healthy scratch. Hate to see it. The New York Islander. Jake Gensel on the team. Matt Barzell, fourth line center. Cool. GG's, but good chemistry, right? Right, AI coach. I'm sure he gets better chemistry. You know, I wonder why EA doesn't show us the chemistry. That's my release the Schneider cut. Release AI line chemistry. I want to see it, EA. If you're telling me that that's the coach saying this is the best chemistry combination, I want to see it. And I want the ability to move Matt Barzell to the third or the second line and see how much better the chemistry is compared to him being on the fourth. I want to see it. The proof's in the pudding. So give me that pudding. Yeah. They won't, though. They won't. Oh, Nolan Allen. We knew trading Nolan Allen was probably going to be a mistake. But it was him or Kevin Korchinski. Zanetti as well. And we went with Korchinski given that he had the ability, as does Vorobyev as well. So I still feel like we made the right choice. I mean, Jesus. Ottawa, you have enough badges? My God. I don't even hand out X Factors all that liberally. Like, it's high-end prospects, and it's already established superstars, and Ottawa is just like, yeah, and? Yes, and? I mean, God damn. Philadelphia, Cutter Gauthier, looking great. Not nearly as many badges as Ottawa. Cam York's amazing, though, which, unless Philadelphia ruins him IRL, yeah, Cam York should end up being amazing. He already kind of is. Pittsburgh, Malkin, Crosby holding on. They've played long enough. This is probably Chris Chelios' grandson, given how long Chelios was in the league. My God. Defense, Letang down to an 80. Yeah, Pittsburgh is, they are reaching the end of an era, for sure. Seattle, I mean, that top line is still absolutely gross. Defensively, I mean, Riker Evans, we've seen him really develop. That's their goaltending, apparently, so that's a choice. That's a choice. San Jose, looking okay. Brought back Joe Pavelski. Love to see it. Had Matt Zuccarello tag along with him. Claude Giroux's there now. I mean, they definitely have like a veteran, insulation to the rookies, I guess, are insulated by veterans. Muka Madulin, Martin Jones, Chris Driedger, the Seattle Kraken. Oh, God, Jonathan Marchessault, though. I don't think too many Sharks fans would like that. St. Louis Blues, looking okay. A lot of those younger guys have really started to turn the corner and join the team. Colton Parayko's down to an 80. Yikes. Big yikes. Jordan Binnington's hanging in there, trying to fight goalies and pumping up crowds when he's down by 3 or 4 goals. Philip Mazar fits in pretty well with Tampa. We did them a pretty big favor, but again, we did what we had to do. Bassi and Vladar, not bad. John Tavares, TJ Oshie, and Janmark. Jesus. Speaking of John Tavares, we get to the Toronto Maple Leafs, and they are not looking as good as they could. They did keep William Nylander, though, on a steal of a deal. That's right. I said it. And look at that. After all, they're going to get Jake Chikrin. So there you go. Once he leaves the Sens, congratulations. Let's see. Vancouver, anything overly interesting? I mean, Ratu keeps getting better. He's 22 at this point. Defensively, Ronick bounced back in terms of rating. I thought he was down a couple of points the last couple of years. And then Bertuzzi. Well, I mean, you need a Bertuzzi in Vancouver. Don't turn your back on him. Let's see. Didn't Matejchuk. I did see Jack Eichel on the third line. I got to be honest. I've reached my. Well, that's awkward. I've reached my fill of. People probably just hated that noise too, and I won't apologize. I got to be honest. I've gotten my fill of pointing out, at least for right now, how bad some of these line combinations have been. It is what it is. Eventually, you just can't take anymore. Poor Philip Hedl, by the way. I bet he wishes we kept him here. Alex Ovechkin, 40 years old. Still proud member of Putin team, I'm sure. But a 930 goal total. Goodness gracious. And then Rasmus Sandin and John Carlson. Not bad. Not bad. So there we go. We are good to go, having looked at all the lines, except for our own. Let's take a look at them now. And indeed, we are going to kind of keep it as you would have seen it at the end of the last episode. And I'm still feeling pretty confident and optimistic about this team. Alex DeBrincat, Adam Fantilli, and Ricard Vinainen. You have Chris Ness, Maverick Bourque, and Frank Nazar. Lucas Reichel, Kasper Hultinen, and Edward Sale. And Philip Kurashev, Colton Dock, and AJ Greer on the fourth line. The defense, chemistry-wise, doesn't fit the coach too well, but I'm still going to try it. It's P.O. Joseph and Braden Schneider, Kevin Korchinski and Seth Jones, Ivan Vorobyev, and our captain, Connor Murphy. The goaltender, Drew Comesso, with Mads Sogard. And still, Soderblom's hanging around, Arbor Jacki and Mackenzie Entwistle, our healthy scratches. AHL is set up by potential. So we have Otto Stenberg, Kirill Novikov, and Colby Barlow. Second line of Connor Roulette with Ryan Green and Stuart Panayi. Third line, Antonio Stranges, Paul Ludwinski, and Victor Sternberg. Gavin Hayes, Michael Tepley, and Samuel Savoy on the fourth line. The defense, Solomon De La Rovere with Axel Sandin Pelika. Ethan Del Mastro is alongside Sam Rinzel. And Isaac Phillips is next to Michael Krutil. The goaltenders, well, it's the same two guys we've had for a couple seasons now, Jesper Vikman and Nikita Kwap, because, well, why not, in terms of keeping them around. Now, unlike last season, I'm not going to do any kind of crazy simming, jumping ahead. We're just going to follow along. A lot of people seem to like the change, but a lot of people are like, we prefer the old style. So, hey, we're going to stick with the style that I've been running with on this channel for a long time now. And our general rule of thumb for goaltenders is going to be, if you lose 2 games, you're out of there. And yeah, you got to earn your spot back is the general rule of thumb. It's what we ran with last season, and we are going to continue to go with the hot hand to see who ends up being worth it. As Sogard gets a win over Vancouver to keep his spot. Loses that one. Alex DeBrincat, 10 points in 6 games, our leading scorer. And Ricard Vinainen suffers an injury. He'll be out for a couple of days. Nothing too crazy. A shootout loss, so we're going to keep Sogard in for one more game. He gets the win, but yeah, we didn't forget, Mads. We didn't forget. So Soderblom, congratulations. You are going to get an opportunity for a couple of games here. DeBrincat's still our leading scorer. Soderblom loses to the Ducks. Vinainen is back. How did Entwistle do on the top line? No points in 2 games. GG's. GG's. But there we go. Vinainen is back in. We have the Vegas Golden Knights up next. Gavin Hayes injured in Rockford. As we do end up beating the Golden Knights. Again, this is kind of the first time we're rooting for a little bit of success. I do want to get Gavin Hayes back in favor of Florian Jacki. So Let's see. Next 2 games will still go to Soderblom. And Arvid Soderblom, so far, proving to be our best goaltender. Look at that. 6 appearances, 4 wins. Drew, even if you win this game, we're going back to the hot hand. And Commesso did win. He won't be scratched. He won't be the odd man out. But Arvid gets another chance to kind of run with it here for a little bit. Draft class will be weaker than normal, which is to be expected based on when I was able to flip things around. Look at Arvid Soderblom. Oh my God. Finally loses to the St. Louis Blues. Kevin Korchinski is going to be out for just under a month, which means say hello to Arbor Jackeye. Say hello, say hello. Is there anything that I can do? Not really. Let's go with Joseph Jones, Vorobiev, Schneider. Jackeye will be with Murphy. That is a staunch pairing, to say the least. We'll get Quap back in there. I think it was back-to-back losses for Soderblom. It was. So we're going to get Sogard back in. It's a victory for Commesso and a shootout loss. That's not that bad. It's not that bad. So Commesso will be a scratch. Soderblom is going to sit for Sogard, who needs to step up a little bit because I don't think I'm going to go with this trifecta in goal. Oh, no. Fractured jaw for DeBrincat, as the injuries have not been all that kind to us. So Entwistle's back in on the first line. I'm cool with that. We'll give Sogard another chance here. And he loses again. Yeah, Matt Sogard, we might be shipping him away for whatever we can get. January 1st is kind of that date that I want to double-check stats, look at goaltenders. We do have 2 big injuries that we're dealing with right now, though. Certainly affects kind of what we can expect from this team. Henry Jokiharju on waivers. Don't really need him. Don't really need him, so indeed we won't bring him in. DeBrincat is healthy. How's Entwistle doing? No points in 5 games, but plays with a lot of heart. And that's important, too. We got the Lightning again. Seth Jones is injured. That is going to require us to call up a defender. That's what that's going to do. That is unfortunate. We will be going with Crevier, and we might lose him on waivers on the way back down. We shall see. I mean, then again, what team can fit a player like him? Extra lines, extra attacker. Why the hell was Seth Jones our extra attacker? Let's make it Maverick Bork. Why the hell was Seth Jones an extra attacker? All right, cool. We lose to the Lightning. Ethan Del Mastro gets hurt in Rockford. Wow, so I can tell you, I mean, granted, we skipped through a good amount of it last year. Like, we did not have to deal with injuries like this in the past couple of seasons. This has been the worst that it's been. Drew Commesso, Jesus. Okay. That really puts into perspective just how bad Sogard's been this season. Jesus. Really has no excuse. It's a shootout victory over Vegas. Yeah, Korchinski is back. So, Crevier, will you make it through waivers? Yes, you will. I mean, I had a feeling. Had a hunch, but it's still worth knowing for sure. So we will get Seth Jones back in there and Arbor Jackeye with 3 points, plus 3, 9 penalty minutes in 10 games. That's not bad. He fought a little bit less than I thought he would. Boy, I don't know what it is, but all of a sudden, did I, fire our coach? What the hell is our line chemistry? Interesting. It wasn't that bad before. We play St. Louis, lose in a shootout. We've gone to a shootout a ton. That's 3 straight games. Apparently, we have more people who are ready to go. I have no choice but to just hit edit lines. And we play St. Louis again and lose. So we'll change out the goaltending. As we do, Comesso's back in. This might be Sogard's last opportunity. I mean, if Comesso doesn't get a couple wins here and Mads is back in, he's got to figure it out. 8-6 loss to Boston and a loss to Detroit. Well, Mr. Sogard, you might only get one game, but we got to see something from you right here and right now in this game against Philadelphia, or that could be it for you. And we do win. So as of January 1st, Chicago's in a playoff spot. Barely. But we are technically in a playoff spot at 18-3-3. Actually, here, let's take a look. So the Atlantic Division, it is Buffalo, Toronto, and Boston leading the way. The Metro, you would have already seen, of course, New Jersey's at the top with the Rangers and Islanders. Central Division, of course, it is us in a wildcard spot, but Minnesota, Winnipeg, and Dallas ahead of us. And the Pacific Division is Seattle, Edmonton, and Anaheim. So right now, New Jersey, top dogs in the NHL. They're up there with Seattle. Worst team in the league, the Vancouver Canucks. Yikes. In terms of scoring, you got to brink it over a point per game. Benainen hasn't been that bad. You could maybe call out. Now, I did try, if I'm not mistaken, something different with the scoring this season. I wanted to see how it affected things league-wide. Joseph's still over a point per game, which is nice. And obviously, we have two goaltenders who have at least been half decent, and then there's Sogard. But let's take a look at the league in general. Bouchard's leading the NHL in points. Yeah, scoring's still a bit low. It is still a bit low. So low scoring, we're probably going to bump it up. I already know that someone like Bouchard is just going to destroy. He's just going to destroy worlds because, again, there's just no great way to replicate this, is there? We are going to flip it back over. I wanted to try a low scoring, high shots for the season. We're going to go medium high. Again, we've been on medium last year. We'll try medium high for this season. Sogard will get another game. Loses it to San Jose. We'll give him until maybe February now. I mean, if he loses here, though, too. Okay, you got the win. Keep going, Mads. Keep going. Let's see what you can do. And we'll change the lines the next time that we have to. It could be right after this game against New Jersey, and indeed, it is. So let's take a look. 890 from Sogard, a 914 for Arvid Soderblom, and a 928 for Drew Comesso. We need to at least go see if there's anything for Sogard. We got to go find out if we can get something for him. And aside from that, we're going to go coach best lines. And yeah, for whatever reason, I mean, there we go. That's at least back to half decent standing. And then forward-wise, we just need to hopefully quickly, reassign some of these, get Greer back in for Entwistle, and there we go. The lines have been reset. AHL-wise, not a drastic improvement for the likes of Novikov that we were really hoping for. Can I get Del Mastro back in for Lapalainen? I don't know what took me so long to remember that. And both goaltenders played quite a bit. Jesper Vikman has been the better of the two. So quickly, Sogard, can we get rid of him? Can we get something for him, even just a minor draft pick? 5th rounders, 4th rounder. I mean, a 4th rounder from the Ottawa Senators. There you go. Sens fans, you get him back. We'll take a 4th rounder. Yeah, just no reason to really keep him around. I barely wanted to keep him last year, but he developed a little bit. Comesso and Soderblom, they are going to be our tandem, our combination for this season. So let's keep it going with Comesso back between the pipes. I swear to God, I thought that was about to say that he got hurt because that would be our luck. Let's see, Calgary, we get another win. Lucas Reichel was roughed up a little bit. Lost to Detroit. Arizona's not bad anymore. And yeah, they end up winning. Their record's not great, but their roster's obviously pretty good. Soderblom, come on down. Actually, I wanted to change out the AHL as well, but we'll do that next time. It's fine. Looks like Soderblom's only going to get 2 games anyway. On this Albertan road trip, we defeat Calgary and we defeat Edmonton. Arvid Soderblom. I don't know what it is about the guy, but I just can't really imagine getting rid of him. He keeps winning games. As Colby Barlow suffers an injury, we're going to give Comesso long enough to play these next couple of games because we have even more back-to-backs. And Comesso does a pretty good job until he lost to Colorado. So let's take a look. I mean, yeah, both goaltenders with a .916 save percentage. Get Vikman back in for Quap. And we'll keep it going into February. I mean, why not? I think right now, just our biggest question is, where are we going to be around the trade deadline? And is there really an obvious move to make at that time? I'm not sure. It kind of depends on where we stand. I don't necessarily think we're in a position where we'd want to add a deadline rental, but maybe. I mean, hey, we'll play it by ear and see where we stand. But right now with our roster, I mean, it's young enough. We do pretty much have the approach of, hey, our team is our team. So let's just keep going through this. We are still battling for that second wild card spot. Whole lot of back-to-backs as well over the last month or so. That has not helped. Continue to swap goaltenders around here. So we are almost to the end of February. We shut out the Philadelphia Flyers and then get shut out by the Boston Bruins. Oh boy, a couple losses in a row. March 1st. And make that even more losses in a row. Comesso's in. Get Quap in the minors. And what do we got? Trade deadline should be popping up any day now. There it is. March 9th. So as things happen to be, 29, 27, and 3, we are not currently in a playoff spot. 7 points back of Dallas. In the Pacific, it's not looking too good. In terms of our chances to make it, it's fringe, I think would be the best way to describe it, as Buffalo leads the Atlantic Division. Fringe odds, I'd say, is a pretty good way to describe it. DeBrincat over a point per game. I mean, you're looking at Vanainen with 28 goals. Ness has 24. Obviously, the scoring has picked up in the second half of the season. P.O. Joseph is an absolute monster. It's a little bit disappointing to not see a little bit more out of Korchinski and Schneider, given that they have a good first pass. Yeah, Comesso and Soderblom haven't been that bad. Around the league, Bouchard's still leading the league in points. But now you got Goodrow, Kaprizov. They're certainly up there. Robertson. I'm really tempted to just put... for the rest of the season, I think we're going to put scoring on high. In terms of high scoring, high shots. And just see what the hell happens. How many points can Evan Bouchard end up with? That's the question. And of course, Scott Wedgwood is the winningest goaltender right now. And you're kind of seeing it. There are some save percentages that are still up there, so you can kind of imagine how sky high some of them would have been. And Ricard Vanainen is actually leading the way for the Calder right now, which is fantastic news. I mean, we've had people in consideration over the past couple of seasons, but nobody has really been able to get to that point. So that would be very, very nice. Let's go high scoring, high shots. Let the madness begin. We want offense, baby. Modern NHL. It does bring us to the question of contracts, who's coming up at the end of the year, and what we might have to do. Soderblom. He'll be cheap. P.O. Joseph will not. Ooh, boy. I get he's a point per game, but might we make the right choice to move on from P.O. Joseph? Connor Murphy's deal is up, but he'll take a pay cut. We might have to explore moving P.O. Joseph. Who else do we have? Kurashev. He shouldn't be that expensive. He's not, but you could argue we could find anybody else to fill in his role. So that's the big question right now. P.O. Joseph. do we move on from him? And I get it. You know, we got rid of Nolan Allen in the trade with the Rangers. I mean, literally, you can look at the Rangers defense right now, whether it be Nolan Allen or Zanetti. I mean, that's not to say that we couldn't explore a follow-up trade in that regard. At the same time, we do have Korchinski, we do have Vorobyev, and then in the system, Della Rovere, who is basically Zanetti, and then Del Mastro might even be able to fill in short term. It's just over $10 million for P.O. Joseph. His offense certainly developed. He is a 99 in almost everything, including skating. Jesus Christmas. He just can't play good defense, nor is he overly physical. But yeah, if you're talking about a defender who's probably worth $10 million, I'm just saying we need to explore the option. I'm not saying he is going anywhere here at this deadline. And we're going to get to the deadline today as well. I think we can finish up this regular season. There's no reason to necessarily drag it out. We're going to list ourselves as conservative sellers and kind of look at the market. Devon Taves, Schmaltz, Eichel, Zuccarello. I mean, outside of Taves' expiring contracts, same for Hertl, he is not on an expiring deal either. Obviously, you could sit there and talk about, is there somebody who would be worth moving to get somebody else? I'm just intrigued. P.O. Joseph. First, a third, and Boone Jenner. I think we're going to keep P.O. Joseph. I think he's going to be rather expensive, but I think we're going to keep him. Although, man, Vorobyev, yeah, he's the top 4 already. We're going to have to make a choice again. Because like I said, I want to play players within their roles. Joseph, Vorobyev, Korchinski. I mean, for this season, I'm going to leave it because it's where Vorobyev started. We're going to have to make a choice. And man, it would make the most sense, wouldn't it, to get rid of P.O. Joseph, given that we don't have contract control over him. At the same time, he is the best player of the bunch. The Ducks are getting rid of a couple of, I don't want to call medium top 6 kind of mid-level guys, but that's what it is. You got Schmaltz out there. The Coyotes are really trying to sell off a couple of damn good prospects for the Bruins. Jesus, in terms of age and overall, not bad at all. You got Noah Ostlund. Sabres still do not want him at all, apparently. Got Max Domi. The Sens just made a trade. Zach Morin and Horkoff. Dylan Dubé is on his way over. There's a lot of medium top 6 prospects that are going to be good, but would just be flipped right back out. And in terms of blockbusters, it's not looking good on that front either. There's not really that super high level player that's available. There is Artem Lashunov. I mean, right D side. If we were to let go of Connor Murphy, Lashunov would fit in pretty well. I don't necessarily think that's a P.O. Joseph trade, though. Of course, Devon Taves, but he's significantly older. I think we pretty much have to keep P.O. Joseph, keep this defense together for this season. And then even at the draft, it would be exploring a Korchinski, probably a Korchinski trade. Really. I mean, if it's not going to be Joseph, it's not going to be Vorobyev. Not that I don't, or Vorobyev, not that I don't want to build around Nolan Allen and Kevin Korchinski. Of course, actual prospects for Chicago. It's just kind of been how this has worked out, especially with the draft. But yeah, that's an interesting one because you know guys like Zegras, McTavish, they're just going to be way too damn valuable. Even like a Logan Cooley, freaking Michkov, who's up to an 80 at this stage. He's playing in Tucson. I don't even think I could get him from the Coyotes just based off of pure value. It's not looking great. I mean, this would be like a P.O. Joseph and a Maverick Bork for somebody, and even then, might not be enough. Cole Eiserman's playing down in Chicago. Yeah, I mean, you look at like the Maverick Bork value. Like, you couldn't even trade for someone like Fantilli with him and Joseph. So, okay. So left defense, we'll cross that bridge when we come to it. Do we add to this team? Sale, you could argue, is a little bit out of his depth right now. We could add a right wing. Left wing side, we're fine. Center, could add a center. Colton Dachs actually played better than Haltonen. Is there a right wing in the league that would make sense for us for a pretty cheap price? Don't give up too much, but a pretty cheap price to try and help our odds. We could bring Nick Schmaltz back to Chicago. What do they have in mind for him? Korchinski a third, a second, 2 seconds in Barlow, Panayi in 2 seconds, De La Rovere in 2 seconds, Braden Schneider. It's pretty expensive for a rental. Leafs have made a deal. Taken forever to see for who. Not much. You got Josh Anderson, which he's just kind of a guy. Martin Necas, no extension. Not having a great season. Doesn't have a great shot. Very good passer. Not bad defensively. I mean, could fit in better for this team. What's the asking price for Necas? 2nd round pick. I mean, it would certainly be an improvement. Maybe it's Necas instead of the Schmaltz idea. Is there anybody else on that right-hand side? Victor Arvidsson. He's not quite what he used to be. We'd probably rather go for Necas. Brendan Gallagher, obviously not going to be what he used to be. We could bring in Tanner Jeannot as a face puncher. I mean, granted, we have AJ Greer. You got Tippett, Rodriguez, Zuccarello. Good shot accuracy, good passing. What would be the price for Matt Zuccarello? 2 seconds. I mean, we can't afford to spare 2 seconds. And Zook would be a pure rental for us. I thought that was going to be Nick Foligno, but it's Marcus Foligno on Toronto. Well, it looks like if we want to make a move like that, I did see Kevin LeBanc there, but I'm not as interested. I think we have the move. If we were to go for somebody, don't know why I'm going all the way back around. I think it would be Matt Zuccarello on the Sharks. If we really did want to try to improve our right-hand side, I think I'm going to pull the trigger on this. 2 second-round picks for Matt Zuccarello. We're going to buy at this deadline. I mean, granted, those 2 picks aren't even ours. Tampa's, it might end up being a high pick, though, because they weren't that good, right? Let's double-check that really quickly. Records, Boston, not bad. Tampa turned it around. We're going for it, no doubt. Let's bring in, and hit all the wrong buttons on the way there, let's bring in Matt Zuccarello. And again, we'll figure out the lefty problem next season. But we're going to bring in Zook to try to shore up that right-hand side and really push for the playoffs this year. 2 second-round picks for Matt Zuccarello. That is a done deal. And with that, I think that is all that we need to do this deadline. So, other trades, if it'll tell us, the big trade was Devon Taves to Pittsburgh for Hemming, a first and a second. Cody Glass is also on waivers. We will claim him. Why not? He can shore up the AHL. What else happened? Player picks: Johansson, Warren Fogle, Trey Augustine. The Bruins are trying to trade Augustine for a while. Schmaltz got moved to Dallas. Pavelski got moved to Philadelphia. Again, we got Zuccarello, and then most of these other trades I think we would have seen on the ticker. Monahan was dealt. Domi, Zach Morin, Chris Dreger. Yeah, so San Jose really did try to sell off a bit. So let's double check this team now. I mean, again, I don't think 2 seconds for Zuccarello is that, egregious to try and get this team to the next level, because we can send Edward Sale down and he can just hopefully tear up the AHL for the rest of the season. He really has struggled this year, even after we went ahead and changed the scoring rates. He just could not find that scoring touch. So it is going to be pretty straightforward here. Left-hand side is good. We're going to play Doc over Halttunen. And then that way it takes a little bit of pressure off of Vanainen. Although you could argue keep him. Yeah, let's keep him there. And then Ness, Bork, Zuccarello. That's still looking pretty good. It's a bit weird to have Halttunen on the fourth line. You could say maybe we shouldn't break up Doc and Kurashev, but let's reward Colton Doc a little bit by making that move. Our defense still has those minuses. Aside from that, pretty straightforward. AHL, in general, we just have to go past lines at this stage. For the most part, anybody that had been playing in those higher roles because of higher potentials, they would have already seen the benefit from playing the majority of the season in that role. So right now, I am just more worried about best players in the best spots. And Novikov really isn't picking up his game. So yeah, like Stranges ends up being a scratch. I got to be honest. I'm fine with that. Cool. Let's just go with that. Best overall team that we can have in Rockford. Have them go for another Calder Cup. We are post-deadline, and we, again, are hopefully going to find our way back into that playoff mix. Dallas might be a little bit too far ahead. Maybe it was a bit too aggressive to give up 2 second-round picks, but man, how often have we been making second-round picks lately? And we know this draft is going to be a little bit weaker. It'll be next year that it really kind of picks up. 33, 30-3. It's not out of the realm of possibility that we could do this. I mean, we just crushed San Jose, as we should. Let's get Soderblom a game here. If he wins, he'll keep playing, and he does win. P.O. Joseph still leading this team in points. We are going to have to sign him, and you could argue signing him right now might be the smartest move. If we wait too much longer, he might decide he wants that much more. But you know what? I think I might play it by ear like that to hope it drops a little bit. So April 1st, we are currently in a playoff spot with 10 games to go. 78 points. We're 3 points above the Ducks. The Ducks have a game at hand. We can do this. We can't do this.